Remember not to bump the table. How are y'all doing? Welcome to Tex Talks. This is Tex. It's been a busy week. I may have to make more than one video today, so let's get this first one on the road and rolling. This one is, how do I say, might be a little triggering for people who had tough parental situations. It might be a little bit aggravating and poke the eye of some of those people who are parents who are doing the things that I'm going to talk about, and it'll give you a chance to reflect. I would like to say, all in all, as with all my videos, the things that I tell you about are not to shame you or make you feel bad. They're to make you reflect, hopefully, or get you to reflect on what's going on, what you're saying, what you're doing, and think about, is this the best approach that you want to use for whatever it is, raising your kids, being with friends, etc. Today's topic is those things that we say to our kids. And there's several subjects I'll hit on, which one of them I've probably taught, but I don't remember where. And if I didn't, you're going to get it today, is that thing called parentification, which is basically making your kids your friends, or putting them in a position where they have to take care of you, meet your needs, those kinds of things, and making them instead of letting them be the kids that they are, you're trying to push them into this position almost like a parent or something to meet your personal needs. Again, this isn't sometimes something that people do intentionally. Sometimes they do. Sometimes it's done, though, unintentionally, but it's a matter of habit, or we don't think about what we're doing when we do it. And what do I say about making our kids meet our needs? Well, sometimes if, as an adult, you're having a problem in your relationships, you make your children your confidant. Bad. No, don't. As adults, once they're adults, I still have a little bit of a problem with that, especially if they're involved with the person that you want to talk about. I mean, if it's their biological other parent, like if you're the dad and that's their biological mom, you're the biological dad, and you're upset with them, and you make the child your confidant even as an adult, then what will happen is they're put in a position where they're between y'all. It's almost like making them choose. And I have heard parents say things, oh no, I'm not trying to do that. I just think they should know. I'm just trying to help them. See, there's that thing again where we are trying to hide or be subversive in how we get our points across. It can even be passive aggressive in this sense. Now, I want to give specific examples of where these things are going on so that you can really catch the bite of what's happening and reflect on it. It may have been done to you. You may be doing it to somebody else. Like I said, this is not about blame. This is about learning and growing and changing. And in this case, some of the phrases that may happen is you may be dealing with one of your kids and you get upset because they did something that triggers you. Now let's take just a second to go over that. When I say they did something that triggers you, you're triggered. And the way you may be triggered is maybe you're somebody in your life, or one of your exes, or somebody does something, says something that makes you feel a certain way, angry, upset, frustrated, not listened to, whatever it is you're having a problem with in that relationship. The thing is that's in that relationship. What will happen is then when our child does something that reminds us of the other, and it may be something that's out of their control. It may just be the way they talk. And I don't mean like loud screaming talk. I'm talking about just their accent or emotions. Sometimes we, even parents that we've never met in our life, biologically, we will inherit certain characteristics and things and movements. It may be the way you walk, or the way that you move, or the way that you stand. And these things are carried over, and they do it. And then you see it and you're triggered, not because of something they did intentionally, but because of the way they did. Sometimes, though, it's a matter of projection. You see them doing something because you don't like it, and you project those feelings you had on this person on them. And then again, that's not fair. And I'll give you some specific examples. So in this case, let's say that one of your kids doesn't return your phone call or your text. Now, when I say don't return, whatever the period of time, 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days. I tell people all the time, if you text me something, I may get around to it, but don't expect me to wake up in the morning first thing and go looking for your text, or even wake up in the middle of the night and answer your text, even if you're family. It's probably ain't going to happen. I don't look that often at the phone. And in the morning, I'm sleeping, so my phone's on silent. And when I think to cut it up to volume is when I do it. I don't do it in case someone's going to, text me. Now, if you call me to tell me something important, I'm more likely to answer because my phone's going to vibrate for a while. And I'll know it's a phone call, and I'm more likely to look at it. But you text me, I get around to it. But what's the point? If I don't immediately text you back, and then you go into that, oh my God, they're not texting me back. They're mad at me, they're upset at me, they're frustrated with me. And then where does that come into the situation? As a parent, if you text your kids and they don't get back, and then here's the thing that will come out of your mouth. That's what your dad used to do, and it aggravates me so much. Whoa, whoa, whoa. One, why are you comparing your child to your ex? That just, no, no. Why are you doing it in front of the child? Why are you telling the child that they behave like the other parent? And it may be a parent they care a lot about, there's a relationship there, and you're telling them they act like them and it's a bad thing. You're accomplishing two things there at once. You're making them feel bad about who they are and their relationship with the other parent, telling them that they're doing a bad thing and that they act like the other parent and you don't like the other parent. See what you're doing? You're hinting that I'm not going to like you like I don't like your ex or my ex or their ex or whatever, one of them exes. And you're doing all that balled up in a passive aggressive, subversive kind of way to make someone feel icky about the thing, to punish them because they didn't do what you want. And you're putting the icing on the cake of saying, you triggered me because you didn't do what I want you to do, when I want you to do it, how I want you to do it, the way I want you to do it, as long as I want you to do it, and smile about it. Wow. That's a mouthful, a big mouthful. And why are you doing that to your kids? And I've had conversations, I'll have parents tell me, well, they need to know that. And I'm like, what is it you want them to know? What do you mean? Well, do you want them to know they're like their other, parent? Do you want them to know that you don't like what they do? Do you want them to know that you don't like the other parent? Do you want them to know that you don't like them being like the other parent? What is it you're trying to tell them? And the thing is I tell people all the time, don't go out of your way to be mean to people. But at the same time, it's not your responsibility to make other people happy. That's something you're happy if you choose to be happy. Trying to make someone happy is a very, not just difficult, it's often a disappointing job because many of the times the person's happiness really has to do with things beyond your control. In fact, you're in charge of your own happiness. Now, if your kid yells at you, and that would be rude, you probably shouldn't yell at your kid, but you might, and they yell back at you, and then you try to say, well, I'm the parent, I get to do that. Think about that. The thing is telling them that don't yell at me. Simple thing. Don't yell at me. Please don't yell at me. Or you can come with the I words. When I get, people that yell, I tend to have a hard time focusing, paying attention. I get upset, all these things. You can have lots of ways you can go about this, but telling them they're like their father or mother or grandmother, you're just like them, and they put that whole face on, you're just like and you did do that. Oh, come stop it. Quit it. Quit it. Now, Because again, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to get them to side with you and hate the other parent? And what does that say? You're asking someone to make you happy by hating a parent. Then you're demanding, because you're a parent, you should be respected and you should be listened to, while you're simultaneously telling them disrespect your other parent. Really? Let's think about that one. It is, again, not your child's job to make you whole or complete. And if you're trying to make them do that, you're going to accomplish mostly misery, your own and maybe even theirs. You're definitely going to make things difficult. And is that really what you want? So here's a case where you, as the parent, have to make those observations and go, can I say what I need to say without using shame and blame? Talked about that. What is it I really want to accomplish here? And do I even have a right to demand that they do these things? Do I have a right to demand that they fulfill my needs for intimacy, love, care, time, all those things? Demanding it. Yeah, not a good situation. So think some of that over. If you have found yourself as a kid or even as an adult child, son or daughter of someone who does that to you, and how does it make you feel? Because I also have had people tell me, well, it's difficult to, I'm scared to tell my father or my mother or my guardian no. So when they demand these things of me, telling them no, or you'll ask your kids opinions of stuff that they're not supposed to be giving you opinions of, like your brother, your sister, your cousin Bob, they did this, this, and this, and I just think that's wrong. What do you think? Don't pull them into that, and don't make them your confidant against the other children. Don't split them up like that. No, this isn't divide and conquer. These are your kids. And my thoughts on raising kids is you're supposed to help them become adults, responsible, contributing to society, good fit for the world, and a good fit for themselves, and help them achieve connection and happiness. So at least give them the tools. And ask yourself, why are you doing this? What are you getting out of it? Why do you want them to side with you? A lot of times we try to get people to do what we want them to do, so they'll be like us, do like us, feel like us, then we'll feel good about ourselves. Please don't use your kids for your feel good potion. No. You will feel good if you've done a good job and done your best to help your kids. I promise you, you will reflect later on, and you may deny, hide, or try to disavow those things you did when you talked about their other parent. And don't give me that BS. Well, they can hear what I'm saying. Because that's the other thing I will hear a lot of times. They will be on the phone, gabbing away, voice carries, kids in the other room, but kids hear everything. And then they'll say, oh, I don't talk about their mother in front of them. Yeah, but you do talk and they can hear it, and that's a conversation you need. If you have a problem with the other parent, you need to go take it up with the other parent. But you don't need to be yakking about it on the phone so that the kids hear about it, subtly manipulating their opinions of their parent by telling bad things to them indirectly. And yes, if you're on the phone doing that, then you probably are doing it loud enough that they can hear. And even if you aren't, it gets back to them. And again, you're putting them in that situation where they have to choose, or they feel guilty or bad, and that's not a kid's place. And you shouldn't be in that. No, no. So think about that. If you're having a problem with your kid or your adult kid, then you have a problem with them, and it's only them. And please do not sit there and compare them to their other parent and then use that as a reason why I hated it when this one did it. Now you're doing it. And no, stop all that. Please, please, please stop that. Okay. If you want some more on this, let me know. If you need follow up, let me know. If you need more examples, let me know. There's plenty of them out there. All right. Y'all have an awesome day, and I will talk to you later.